Just gonna go ahead and record this. So it's 4 o'clock. If you're new here, welcome. And if you have been here before, you already know the drill. What we are trying to achieve here is to go through the syllabus of OSCP and see what we can find on Google, basically OSINT. And from that, we build our knowledge base and learn more about the subject. I'm not going to teach you how to hack. I'm just going to empower you on self-realization and ability to do it by yourself. And I'm pretty sure that you can do it by yourself because this is not rocket science. This is the most easiest thing you can do. And pretty much everybody in the industry does this. They just, if they don't know anything, they just select it, Google it, research about it. And that's basically what we're going to do. The goal of this session and all these sessions of OSCP is not to do a brain dump of mine. It's just to make sure that you understand how things work, and it's not at all hard to understand cybersecurity. So without further ado, let's jump into today's topic. Today's topic is pretty interesting to me. I am going to pull this up really here. There we go. There we go. Okay, so today's topic is pretty interesting. We are going to go ahead and cover module number 6, 7, 8, and if I have enough energy left, module number 9. I think it should be pretty easy, and once we're done with that, we should be done with pretty much everything until module number 12. After this, we are just going to jump into attack modules and make sure that we know every single thing about it from the syllabus. Keep in mind that I don't have a textbook with me, the PDF textbook which comes with OSCP. I just have the syllabus which is openly available on their website. So whatever I will be going through is just what I see over here, or anything which I'm seeing from there as well. So we're just going to build our knowledge base based on keywords as well. So once that is done, we should be good to go. We have successfully finished module number 12, all up till module number 12 after today. That will be a half-mile milestone because the entire syllabus is 24 modules. We have in 5 days, we have finished 12 modules. So that's a big accomplishment. Hopefully in the next 5-6 days, we should be able to finish the rest of them and then jump into hack the box hacking as well as try hack me. That's the idea. Once we train you guys on this one, we should be able to jump onto hack the box and then test our knowledge on how things work. Keep in mind that if you are not able to attend the live stream, and I totally get it because you guys are from different time zones, I actually upload those videos on the rest of my YouTube vlogging archive actually, and I upload this right away within the next 5-6 minutes of the video streaming ending. And a lot of people have been watching on YouTube, it seems like, so maybe I should actually go live on YouTube. It's much more better. But anyways, stream is fine. Streaming on Twitch is fine for me now, and so you guys can view it on YouTube. I've been getting a lot of questions on how to get started in security. I make sure my LinkedIn is open to everyone, and it's kind of a rhetorical question because starting in security is not like a one-step process. It's not like software development. If someone says, how do I get started in software development? The first question is, what do you want to develop? So, oh yeah, I want to develop an iOS app. And the next question is, go learn Swift. It's free, available on Apple's website, and there's an entire ecosystem supporting it. Just learn that. That's it. There's the Swift documentation is so step by step that if you don't even, I've seen 12-year-olds build an iOS app and they don't even know half of it, and they just Google it, find the modules, attach it, and boom, the app is done. They sell it on $99 cents per download on the App Store. They make quite a lot of money. So it's not like software development. It's definitely not like engineering where you have a step-by-step procedure, or math, but it's a complete different beast. There are different umbrellas under one big umbrella of called cybersecurity. There's blue team, red team, there's purple teaming these days. Then there is within the blue team, then there is incident response, there's SOC analyst, then there is threat analyst. A lot of people working, and it's just pretty hard to see where your intentions are to going. I am really good at pen testing, but I also keep my mind open on blue teaming. I am actually trying to install uh, Security Onion on a Raspberry Pi or something similar, a single board computer. It's pretty hard, but I'm trying to see how much I can fit into it, to make sure that once I deploy that Raspberry Pi, it's much easier to manage the console. So that's blue teaming application for you. I am dipping my toes into that as well to learn more about it. But I I am an expert in pen testing, so that's what my forte is. So without further ado, let's just jump in to our first module, passive information gathering. Making sure that I'm recording this. Yeah, I am. Passive information gathering. Module 6.1 is just taking notes. Depending on how you take notes, keep in mind that your brain is not meant to remember stuff. Throughout evolution, we have just focused on sorry, my dog is going crazy. um, Throughout evolution, we are just focused on execution. Everything is an execution for us humans, and that's the reason why we have came so far. We built computers, we put people on moon, and soon on Mars as well. Yeah, Elon. And that is only because we execute things, we document things as we go on, and we refer to those whenever we need certain tools for our execution. So taking notes is one of the most primary ways you can improvise on your cybersecurity needs as well as learning. Keep in mind that whatever location you take notes, make sure that your entire cybersecurity work is done over there. That's how I like it. Actually, I keep my notes on Notion. I'll show you folks. That's my Notion. I have all the CTFs which I attend, including NahamCon, which was yesterday or the day before yesterday, and all the Hack the Box, Try Hack Me machines. I document it religiously, every single step, so that anyone, non-technical writer, as well as non-technical person or technical person, whoever reads my notes, whenever I publish it, they are able to follow the steps and then get execution on the machine. So that's how I make my Hack the Box machine notes. It's just how I've been doing, teaching myself. All my bug bounty work is over here, bunch of meetings. I am a big fan of Black Hills Information Security, so I attend pretty much every non-paid webcast which is there, because I don't have $500 to spare on a session. So I document everything from Black Hills Security, just like literally everything what they say. Even on the YouTube videos, I just have pen and paper, write it down, or on my Notion. And bunch of job application, bunch of PDF notes which I have collected, the Sans cheat books, as well as cheat sheets and GitHub stuff, and that's also in my link. So that's how I document my entire cybersecurity career. It has everything in it, but I would recommend something similar for you. Notion might not be for you. You probably don't like storing things on the cloud. That's perfectly fine. Some people like Obsidian, or they like there is an offline version of Kali Notes. I don't know which one it is, but there is Cherry Tree. Yeah, Cherry Tree is pretty famous. So people use that. They like it, and I don't really mind it, as long as you're taking good notes, so that 1 year down the line, you look back into it, you can literally replicate every single thing from it. So that's basically the idea. One way I also do take notes is through my website, cyber.shabamkichi.com. I document everything over here, whatever is required to be public. It's classified with blue team, purple team, and red team. I'm gonna build up more on the blue and red team now. Starting I think I have a Black Hill Information Security session this week, so I'll be dumping that brain on to blue team work. but that has been there. I've been doing this since quite a while, so do check it out if you got time. If you don't, that's okay. Jumping on to our second part is website reconnaissance. As a hacker or anyone who is in cybersecurity, your primary focus should be information gathering. If you gather proper information as well as you know a lot more about how to gather it, this is OSINT framework. That's all it is. Everything is OSINT, open source available intelligence. And if you don't know how to do this at this point of your career in cybersecurity, it's a big red flag, because you should be knowing how to find information, whatever you need, because software developers are notorious for storing information on GitHub, on Pastebin, or any forum which you can find. And your job as a hacker is to find that information, point it out to them, and then tell them that, hey, you made a mistake. Try to fix it. If you don't, I will go ahead and report this bounty and collect the money. That's basically what the entire bug bounty framework is. Everybody is searching for information. As much information they can find, they will search for it. Website directories, if hidden directories, websites, also login portals with administrator accounts or user shell accounts, as well as a stupid framework, a stupid password, just like, SolarWinds123. So if poor password protection is your thing, that's the reason why your company gets hacked, and then everybody shames you in the public. Anyways, second of all, website reconnaissance is more about learning more about the company and what are the other branches which you have within the company which is not shown to the public. So for example, in our example, we'll just take apple.com. I'm a big fan of Apple, so I just do everything on Apple. That's my go-to. And you go to apple.com, you see this customer webpage. Sure, it looks nice. You can buy your phones, watches, what have you. But what if I did this and then type admin? Will something come up? No, nothing comes up. Okay, so what's the next step? Let me just try to do whois enumeration. Whois enumeration basically means that you are finding whois apple.com. That's all it is. What it does is it tries to find all the locations where apple.com was registered, as well as what other modules does it have. I'll show you how it is. Give me a second here. Let me just open up my Kali machine. Kali personal. Whois is usually the first thing which we do. If you guys can see it, I'm trying to make sure that it's half and half. There we go. So whois apple.com, get more information about it. It's pretty fast. So okay, the domain name is apple.com, registry domain is so and so. What I'm looking for is directories, something which is not public, and they are showing this over here. So for example, if Apple has a ton of really smart security people who knows how to hide their stuff online, but not that smart, because recently we found a lot of vulnerabilities on Apple's website as well as a bunch of their applications. So not that smart, but they try their best. Sometimes there's a registrar abuse contact email, and you'll see instead of this cscglobal.com, you'll see johndoe@apple.com. That's an email address. That's sensitive documentations, is coming out on the interwebs. Anybody can search for it, and then send them a spam mail or phishing email attack, spear phishing, and then try them to click on stuff. Once you click on stuff, you're basically toast. There's no way you can protect yourself. So that's what it is. You don't want email addresses coming up in the open, because smart people really don't click on emails from unknown senders, but there are sometimes people who accidentally click on it, and I totally get it. Your entire life is on email, so your work email. So if you see something you don't Sometimes you just click on it. It's like, hey, yeah, this looks promising. Let me click on this link, and then boom, you're toast. Everybody is yeah. Hey, crazy ass Scoop, how you doing today? I see that you can't prevent. Oh yeah, you can't prevent it. Once the phishing attacks come in, there's no way you can prevent anything. Once the hackers knows that you can be easily targeted, that's it. You're done. Better to just go ahead, take a 15-day paid time off leave, and then go away from the office. No, don't do that. Just getting back from the grocery store. All right, yeah, that's cool. And I'm guessing you saw those tweets of $1,400, and you go to Target and you say that, let me just get the big red ball outside the Target because I got $1,400. So that's a funny joke. Anyways, it's on Twitter. That's why I got it. I didn't make my own jokes. So coming back to our topic, the domain status is a bunch of stuff which is written over here. The ican.org is a powerful place where you can search for domains, make sure that they are active, if you can find some information. All this is done to find important information. So let me see if something comes up. I could have used just that link. Yeah. So who is on Apple? Let's see. Gives me the address. Now, if this was an LLC, you would actually see the address of the person who owns the LLC if they registered it under their name and under their address, and don't use a registered agent. That's why you use a registered agent. Contact admin, Infinity Loop, Cupertino, phone number, pretty sure someone will answer this. CSC Global. So if I don't know what CSC Global is, I'm gonna go ahead and copy that, paste it here. What is CSC Global? What does it do? Okay, so registered agent service. That's basically what it does. It registers all these websites and they provide you probably with an email address. That's what I was talking about. If you have an LLC and you don't register it with a registered agent, your details show up over there. Your email address, your phone, your actual physical address. So it's important to register it with a person. I like Shodan. Okay, yeah, we are coming to Shodan. I like Shodan too. It's pretty easy to find stuff from there. So CSC is that. We know that now. Doing more research over here, we need to find a person. Luckily, they haven't written a person's name. It's just technical. Senior Director, DNS Infrastructure Group. Definitely, I think this is registered agent's work. This is the NS server, NS lookup. That's name server lookup. OS, affiliates, yada 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 yada, and the status is active. Okay, I understand. So your ICANN website is important, ican.org, but you can easily find that in your Whois enumeration. But apart from that, this is just information which is not required. Okay, anyways, that's Whois enumeration for you. Google hacking. So you know a little bit more about Apple at the moment. You looked up their Whois and found a bunch of things. Now you're interested. Maybe you find something in the Whois and you want to dig deep. What do? You do Google hacking. It's sometimes called Google dorking. It's pretty funny. Let me see if I can find something. Ooh, ExploitDB. ExploitDB is like the hub for all the exploits which comes through. Everybody puts their exploit over there. If you put it, you get CVEs, and you can put that on your resume or on your walls, and then people kind of like appreciating it. So anyways, the ExploitDB has a ton of information on exploits, as well as, in our case, Google hacking database. There are certain keywords, if you type it right, you will get information on the website. So for example, Let me see. I have 6.5 pages of websites to search people and companies to find info. Yeah. I have to search people. Wow. Well, do share it with us. Just put it on a blog post and then share it, man. People like to know more about stuff like this. And so you have in title, sign in with Cisco Finesse. So for example, if I say I need to go to google.com, and so the thing is, you need to type it exactly the same way with colons and apostrophes and everything. So for example, I say sign into apple.com. So any title which has something written as sign into apple.com will show up on your Google search. So let's see what comes out. Ads are nonsense. Take me back to sign into apple, just answer.com. I don't know what this is. Nope. Junk. Nothing comes up. Let's say apple.com. What is back? Oh, dot back. Oh, like backup files. Dot back. Let's search that. Oh. Oh, let me just do in URL. Let's see if we can find something. Yeah, index of is also good. I like it. So these are the things. So for example, what it did, it instead of typing in title apple.com back, people might not write this actually in their website link. So what they do is, what you can do is you can do in URL. So I provided a URL apple.com. That means that every single result needs to be from the website apple.com. That's it. That's all I want. And in title, the title should be .back. Let's see if we can find any backup files. A lot of discussion going on with under discussions.apple.com. Translate this page. Okay. Tech support work. There's Japanese over here. Let's see. And let's see if we can find. Nope, I think this is pretty old. Nothing important. So things like this, you can just find it. It's much more easier to do a Google search. I am pretty sure that there are tools which do this for you. They do in URL, in title, and as well as site. All the sites dot any subdomain with Heroku.com, like over here, and the in title is login. So I know what Heroku is. It's just hosting platform. Let me just check for your apps. You can host your apps over there. So you know that. So what star will do is, star means everything. This is a universal symbol for everything in Linux as well as everything on the internet. If you type star.apple.com, that will do, let's say, discussion.apple.com, admin.apple.com. There is iPhone storage.apple.com. I don't know, whatever it is. Star is going to display everything, all the subdomains which you mentioned, and then dot app Heroku. I'm just going to do, because we are already on Apple, we like Apple, and you're looking for a login page. That's what you're looking for. So support, a lot of support stuff. No, nothing. And you can go more and more in the Google search to see music.apple.com, log into Apple Music. So something important came up, developer.apple.com, automatic login. Don't know what that is. Okay, a lot of support work. That means Apple did their job correctly. If you're on a pen test, first thing you want to make sure that their customer facing websites as well as the customer facing sites are hidden, the important sites. So for example, you have Workday. Workday is pretty notorious. I kind of don't like how their system is set up for customer facing stuff, because what they do is if you are applying for a job, you can actually search for what Workday does is they give a platform to each and every single company. For example, Apple will have their own Workday account, which they don't, but they do. They will get it, apple.workday.com. That's how it's gonna be. And through there is a separate login page. You can log in. That doesn't migrate towards Workday, which is kind of cool. But there might be some ways where you can actually log in as apple.workday.com and then go into Apple's actual website and do a lateral movement. That's what I'm thinking it does. Sometimes I've never tried it. I actually only use Workday to apply for jobs, but that would be pretty cool if it does that, because Workday is basically giving them an instance of their own job hosting sites, and it's pretty important to make sure to know that you are isolating yourself with the actual client, because they still use your own subdomains like workday.com. Anyways, things like that do come up. Just try to search for Google Dorking as well as a bunch of this is pretty cool, exploit database. That's all it is. You can go more into it. Username, password. You can just copy this, paste it, and you're looking for a username. Let's say admin, password, I don't know, please log in to continue. And then in title you're looking for apple.com. Nothing should come up, but hey, something came up. Oh, unusual traffic from I don't know what crosswalks are, man. I'm a robot. Google figured it out. I'm trying to hack stuff. So there is something called deploy.apple.com. I don't know what that is, but I'm gonna go ahead and check it out. So it's a deployment program with Apple Business as well as Apple School Manager. Cool. What else do we get? List.apple.com. All this is called subdomain enumeration, done through Google hacking. There is also Python scripts called sublister. I don't know if you guys can let me know about this. Star equals wildcard. Yeah, star equals wildcard. Sorry, I didn't actually know that name. I just know that it displays everything. Johnny Long is the one who wrote the book on it, and he has an hour-long video on YouTube. Really? I want to know. Hope nothing else comes up. Oh, the Google hacking? Interesting. I will read it. Thank you for showing it. Noise. I like it. I'm gonna save this on my work. Anyways, back to our enumeration. You all pretty much know how Google hacking works at the moment. It's basically using keywords to find information, and you can not only do this for your own hacking needs, you can actually do this to find important stuff. For example, GitHub is pretty famous for putting code online. This is the reason why whenever I develop a program or software, I don't actually put it on GitHub. I actually store it on my system, and if there is any need, there is no need, I just post it somewhere else. But definitely don't do it on GitHub, because that's how easily they find vulnerabilities. I find vulnerabilities through GitHub. So if someone else finds it on my software and I am distributing that to everyone else, yeah, my name is on the line. So I don't really like it, but it's there. So a lot of software developers use it. It's their go-to platform for their resume as well as their accomplishments, and it's a hunting ground for me, so it works for me as well. Pastebin is where I search for material. Yeah, dude, Pastebin is like next level stuff. I'll show you guys in a minute. Let me just jump into Netcraft a little bit. Let me just search. What is Netcraft? Let me just do more searches. How to use Netcraft? Oh, there we go. I think it's a built-in research tool. Not really sure. For your website. Finds out what it is made out of. Oh, okay. Gives me some information. Nothing which whois cannot give, but helpful if you like websites. TLS version 1.3. One way you can make sure, and me and Crazy Ass Coop were discussing this offline the other day, the TLS hacking. TLS, I think it was 2.0. What was it? TLS, I don't know. Vulnerabilities. Which one? Oh, Poodle. Yeah. You downgrade the website, and the security, and then version 3. Technical paper, exploiting it. Yeah, with this you get to know more about how the company is set up on their TLS system, but this is something a little bit different what I was expecting. To know that SSL is nearly 18 years old. Damn. Okay, anyways, yeah, just get to know more about the company is basically what it is. Nothing rocket science. SSL certificate, that's what I was looking for, not TLS. A little bit more about some DNS enumeration. Here, let me show you this. Bug bounty hunters use this a lot. Sublister, fast subdomains enumeration. Basically what it does, it was updated last year. It's pretty famous amongst people who search subdomains. It will search literally every website, every search engine, including Netcraft, which we were looking at, for their subdomains, and it will find the exact thing, give you all the stuff which you need, including ports. And once it does that, you should be able to go to each and every subdomain to see if you can find important information or crucial websites which don't have proper password protection. So that is something which people use. Sublister, I've been using this since a long time. I'm pretty sure that there are other alternatives. If you type alternatives, AMAS is there as well. I know that for sure. It's from the organization OWASP. It does the same job as Sublister, but it's backed by a big company. Subdomain finder, DNS scan does the same thing too. These are all telling you a bunch of subdomains which are showing up. What you can do is you can use a bunch of these tools to do an output of the subdomains and use vimdiff, which I showed you in the previous videos, to find what is different in each of them. This way you will know which subdomain platform or subdomain tool is actually showing you more details than the other ones. Helpful because you want to make sure that you're covering all the grounds and you're not actually losing out on anything. Last thing you want to do is in your pen test, and then you're supposed to find any external facing websites which have sensitive information, and you don't find this particular subdomain, and because of that you pretty much lose contract or things like that. But things go bad if you don't find it. It's your job to find it. So this is how I use it. I use a bunch of these tools, let them run for a couple of hours, make sure that they're gathering every single information for that website, and then I use differentiation, vimdiff, or just diff, and just make sure that I cat those output in, and then it tells me literally what is missing, what other subdomains needs to be added in the main list. So I create a compile the actual list of it, and it literally shows me what I need to do next. So after that I just do more enumeration on the web pages itself. Pretty useful. Recon NG, the next topic, was written by Black Hills Information Security, if I'm not mistaken. Ugh. Yes, Rico. Can't write. Recon NG framework. Yeah, it was from, sponsored by Black Hills. That's what it was. I didn't know it was written by anyone else. Oh, really? On plural side? Interesting. Okay. Yeah, Recon NG does the same job. It does much more in detail. It's open source gathering for tools. Let me see if I can pull an actual thing on Recon NG. Oh, there's there. I don't know the exact usage. Let me see if something comes up. Help. DB. Here. Better to do it this way. Okay, install module. You can install a bunch of modules. Hacker target, gather some subdomains. Okay, let me just do that. Marketplace, install. Okay, so it's already there. Okay, hacker target. I think it's more like Metasploit, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry, dude, I didn't actually see the chat. WPA3, do you write your own scripts? Yeah, I do. I do write a bunch of scripts for myself. These are more of a compilation of other scripts, which I really don't want to run by myself. I want those to be done automatically. I am at the moment creating a virtual machine instance for bug bounty hunters. It will have all the tools which is required only for bug bounties. And it will run automatically once you type in once you run the program within that virtual machine. It's gonna run everything by itself, give you the result in an output. I'm thinking of making it a web interface, but I'm not a big fan of actually showing the web interface for people to access it. But hey, if it attached to a bind port to like port 9999, it's probably gonna work. Do you know Shodan has an API? Oh yeah, I don't doubt it. Shodan should be having an API key. You can utilize APIs to create your own tools. Yeah, developer API. Like I said, I'm still planning on doing this. I'm gonna make sure that I actually do this before the end of second quarter. What the hell? that just happened? Anyways, before the end of second quarter, yeah, June, July, something like that. Once that is done, I should be able to deploy it for everyone, and they should be able to search for that virtual machine. So grab the APIs from your favorite search site and program it to search for you. Pretty cool, dude. Yeah, I'll try that. I'm actually gathering information on how to do all this, so it's an adventure as well. But let's just jump in to what we were doing earlier. Source. Oh, this is like Metasploit. Set the source. Options set. Source apple.com. I do info. Okay, Apple is set up. And set more options. Don't really need it. Okay. Cool. It's going to show me everything which Apple has on their site. I like it. Every single subdomain which I need. Chatbox-web1.apple.com. Pretty sure some developer made this. Shoot. And left it online for people to see. Let's see what it does. Hopefully it doesn't give me a forbidden error. ADCW web1. Let me see what this is. Nothing will come up, I'm pretty sure, because these are internal sites. Somehow they're showing up on outside, just like Showdan does. Demo 81. Demo 181. But helpful. If you want to know more about it, it's very helpful to check this out. Do check it out, Recon-ng. It's very helpful. You can also use other tools, like I said. Output this into an output file and then check to see if those are matching with the other tools. On the actual, they do give you material to footprint on. I know they do. I think it's Megacorp1. That's their actual website. I did not find it from the thing. I actually found it from their syllabus. Hopefully it comes up. Yeah, that's the offensive securities website which they did told you to do recon on, and we can do this on our thing. Recon-ng, and then what was it? Help. Modules, load, hacker, target. Oh, load the source, options, set source, and then megacorp1.com. Run. Yep, tells you every single thing about Megacorp1. NS1, which is name server 1. Mail 2, which is an actual mail, looks like an actual mail. I'm just gonna go. It gives you an IP address as well. You can actually search this using Nmap scans and then find more footprints on which ports are open. Do you get any footprinting or straight to stage 2 with scanning? I cannot comment anything on the test. Obviously, it's just a lot of information which comes up. I just don't want to touch base on anything regarding to test except what is available online on their website. But that being said, all the information which you need for hacking is presented to you. That's all I can say. That's all they say on their website and in their modules too. But you just need to have to use your knowledge on how to use those tools for your needs. But everything should be provided to you, whatever is required for you to root that box. So sorry about that. Can't tell you more about it. But yes, if you actually take the course, you'll get to know more about it. So go ahead and do that. It's just security stuff, man. I really don't want to get into things which put me in jeopardy in my certificate. So thanks for understanding. Hi there, Mistad 0007. I saw you in my first stream. You didn't show up for the rest of them, but I forgive you for that. But if you get the time, just catch my other streams on YouTube. They are available for everyone to watch. Get some knowledge if you need it. So these Apple websites don't load up. That's fine. I understand. But say if it's a login portal, nothing comes up. Keep in mind that they told this website megacorp1 right over here, the megacorp1.com and sandbox local domains. It's available over here. That's why I pulled it. That's why I was checking this morning if they have a website, but yeah, they do. So helps to know more. Okay. Anyways, let me just exit out of this. Recon.ng. I'm gonna implement that on my VM as well. I'm gonna actually install that tool and make sure that I use a script to run that automatically. So I'm trying to compile a script which actually does all these reconnaissance for you and then uses the differentiation tool, so you don't have to do it by yourself, and finds what is the things which did not show up on these scans, showed up on a different scan, so you can have all the knowledge you need for your hacking needs. So probably gonna make a script or a VM. I don't know, man. Looking forward for it. Yeah, I know they were giving you some hell on Reddit about this live stream. Actually, true. Let me give you a background. In order to let more people know, I posted on the Reddit stream, Reddit subreddit of OSCP, but I framed it incorrectly. The actual content was framed so bad that it looked like I was giving away the knowledge from the PDF, which is super illegal, which is not what I was planning on doing. And if you guys know from these streams, that's not what we did, the entirety of it. So but then the mod of OSCP subreddit reached out to me. It's like, dude, you need to upgrade your English on what you actually wrote. I was like, sorry dude, I was actually half asleep when I wrote that. Before going to bed, and in the morning I got like 5-6 messages like, are you really doing this? I said no, and then I went ahead and changed my wording. That's only because I wrote it half asleep before going to bed, and hopefully getting some traction when I wake up. So I changed that. Yeah. Oh, cool. I actually remember that. I replied back to you. Yeah, so that's what happened on Reddit. Big sham. But glad we sorted it out. The mod said that, yeah, that's fine. Whatever you're doing is good. So nothing to worry about that as well. So we're good. Let me just go ahead and highlight these. So these are done. Jump into open source code. GitHub is your best friend for open source coding. Maltego and Foca. I'll take a look into it. GitHub is where everybody finds their source code lookup. You can actually have GitHub enumeration tool. I usually do the second searches, which I do. Automatic enumeration. Legion. Let me check when this was updated. 26 days ago. That means it's pretty new. Legion is based on pen testing methodology we can find on Hacktricks. Another favorite actually websites of mine is hacktricks.xyz. This is where I find most of my they have their actual tool for privilege escalation. Yeah, that's right. And that's where I found most of my stuff. You should definitely check this out. They use that tool whenever you're doing privilege escalation, and then you can actually refer back to particular points on, let's say you find NTLM hash, what do you do with it? It will tell you what to do with it, how to use it, and everything in regards to it. So there we go, a little bit of literature, bunch of different NTLMs, the registry key which you need to know. Definitely check this out, hacktricks.xyz. I used it in all my pen testing needs, and I still do actually, so very helpful. They keep updating it, which is kind of cool. This Legion does that. I think I want to see GitHub enumeration. That's what I wanted to see. Nmap. Oh, cool. It's a full scan. I like it. Cool. I like it. GitHub Recon tool. Finally. Whenever someone puts an actual photo for their tool, I kind of have a trust built up already with them. It's like, oh yeah, you put time to make an actual photo and then put it up on your actual tool. So I kind of have a actual trust going on with them. It's like, yeah, this is legit. But then I have to think twice before doing anything. But first thing which I look at is how many stars they have got, and second of all, when did they update last. Looks like this is 3 years old, but they have 5,000 stars, so that means whatever they wanted to update on it, it's pretty much point to perfection. So a lot of people are using it. But yeah, this will GitDrop is a tool to help find potential sensitive files. Push to public repos on GitHub. GitDrop will clone repositories belonging to a user or organization down to a config depth and iterate through the commit history and flag files that match signatures and potential sensitive files. Pretty cool. I might use it in the process, but it's now read-only, so I have to check more. But things like this, you can actually find it. If you don't want to do GitHub Reconnaissance by yourself, try to find an actual tool which will do it for you. Your job is just to utilize these tools and find a pivoting page inside it, and that's how you get into the systems. Your job is not to do things from scratch and reinvent the wheel. The wheel's already invented. It's just you just need to improvise it using tools. If you want to know more about enumeration, you can also look at a bunch of you can type bug bounty at the end of it. Let's say I want to do paste bin, as Crazy as Scoop was suggesting, and then press enter. It's gonna tell me tools which are actually, or write-ups which actually utilize paste bin and their enumeration techniques. So it's totally useful. You should definitely take a look into it. Just make sure that you are using proper keywords in Google searches like I showed you earlier, and then you can find important information. A lot of bug bounty hunters write a lot of stuff for street creds, and it's useful to know more about it. Yeah, 10 recon tools for bug bounty hunting. Cool. Okay, cool. Open source code, that is taken care of. Shodan, as Crazy as Scoop was talking about. Open up Shodan. Shodan is basically the search engine for, like it says, Internet of Things. Every single thing which is available on public, Shodan will show it to you, including every single IP, every single DNS, every single thing which is a web server, name of it, things like that. So for example, if I do apple.com, hopefully nothing bad shows up. Okay, tells me the location. Looks like Apple is most active in US and Canada. Can't believe US is this small. Canada is like taking up the entire space. Anyways, forbidden SSL certificate. I find an IP. What I can do with these IP is use an Nmap scan to run it. I know that they have such a big network that their IP is changing on the second, like after 17 it changes over there. That just means that the network is so huge that they have used up all their other octets on the IP. Kind of cool, if you ask me. That just proves how big their network is. Move permanently. Nothing showing up. That's their actual website. I think this is in Japan. Yeah, country in Japan. Someone is accessing it. Shows you what ports are open. What you're looking over here is a port like RDP. You find an RDP port, or you find a telnet or SSH credentials, not credentials, SSH port, or you have a guest login to something like that. You can actually access it. You can just use Nmap to access it, or you can just directly use a netcat to access those ports. But over here only 3 ports are open, so nothing important. What I like to use is Ghost framework for Android hacking. I'll show you Ghost framework for Android. I use this to make sure that my phones, whichever Android phones I'm using, is not that dangerous. So I used to have a bunch of old phones like OnePlus X, OnePlus One. They usually give you root access directly whenever you are connected to them. I use that on that as well. Ghost framework allows you to hack into Android phones, basically what it is. If you don't want to do it, if you don't want to use your phones, or they don't have it, have any vulnerabilities, you can just come to Shodan and search for Android devices. Anything will come up, and based on that you can just copy this IP address, paste it into your Ghost framework, and boom, you have some or the other type of shell which you can run specific ghost commands into it. Very helpful, but super dangerous because it's really bad stuff. So don't do this if you don't have permission. But this is helpful if a company gives you permission to check their endpoint devices, including the Android devices. You can actually use Ghost framework to make sure that they are not hackable that easy using their IP address. Anyways, why does it do that? Hides the entire thing. Anyways, there we go. Ghost framework is useful. That way you can find Android on Shodan, and then you have 86,000 searches. Try every one of them, see if it works, and then you should be able to find something related to it. Especially in US, looks like 17,000 Androids are live in US. Hong Kong has pretty much equivalent. China, Thailand, Malaysia is not that much. Okay, moving on. Security header scanners. I'm gonna search that. Some things which I don't know, I'm just gonna search it, see what comes up. What actually does that do? I think what it's talking about is using burp suite to find headers, but you can find this on a website. Scanning. Okay, already found it. If you don't know what these means, these are part of the website development. You can find this easily more whenever you're running a burp suite against a website subdomain. Burp suite will also do subdomain enumeration. All you have to do is run burp suite, make sure that make sure your browser is using the same proxy, and then just press enter and refresh the page. It's going to actually crawl the entire website and then find subdomains for you. Your job in this is to click on more stuff within the website. Any single link which you see, any single redirect which you see, you click on it. Once you click more stuff, it actually does crawling on that click itself. OSINTframework.com. Yep. OSINT framework is my next topic I was talking about. Glad that you pointed out. Yeah, tells you everything. Search for, I found this on Twitter, believe it or not. Someone actually shared this. I forgot the name. I actually saved my tweets in a file. So kind of a nerd. These are like, I think these are tools. I can search for this name checker. Let's say yeah, name checker tool. Tells me the actual name of and everything related to that. I like it. Let's see. 4 squares, LO. I like it. OSCP framework is pretty cool. What you're looking for is email address, phone numbers, anything which you can use to pivot inside the network. For pivoting needs, I want to grab your attention to MITRE framework. MITRE framework is pretty much industry standard for pivoting needs. If you don't know how to pivot into the computer, you need to use this stuff. Reconnaissance has its own topic. You can do active scanning, which is we're going to collect next, check into next. Gathering victim host information, click on it. It'll tell you how to do it, which threat actors actually utilized it, and then how to move forward in its sub techniques. Hardware, software, firmware, client configuration. I'm going to do software, do more checking on that, and there we go. Phishing for information. Adversaries may also compromise sites that include malicious content designed to collect host information from visitors. Okay, so a lot of phishing work. But MITRE framework is something which you need to be familiar with, knowledgeable in, and get to know a lot more about it. It takes you to the tool page. Oh, okay, it does. Oh, okay, that's handy. Thanks a lot. Yeah, just keep in mind that if you want to learn more about it, OSCP is part of it, but the second thing which you need to focus after OSCP is mastering pretty much every single technique over here. That's how I did it. I read up on MITRE framework literally like newspaper every day, all day. If something which I don't know, I forget, I actually go to MITRE framework and oh man, why does it do this? And check more about it. So pretty effective. I would recommend you to check it out. See how it, and they update this on every single new vulnerability which comes up or new attack which comes up. So I'm pretty sure they have solar vents over here. Come on. Sunburst. Okay. Sunburst use DNS for C2 traffic designed to mimic normal SolarWinds API communications. We know that because that's what actually happened. Tells you a little bit more. Doesn't tell you a little about how people came in, like the reconnaissance, but I don't think so. They know more about this reconnaissance work. It's more about how you are utilizing the rest of the techniques like initial access, execution, persistence, privilege escalation, defense evasion. That is something later on, but for OSCP you need to remember these 5. That's your job. You need to remember this, know this, how everything works. Very helpful, and a lot of companies do give credits to people who actually know this. I know a lot of hiring managers who actually ask, do you even know half of MITRE framework, or do you know even how to work your way around MITRE framework? And if you say yes and you can prove it, yeah, you're game. So that's what it is. Is that the OffSec PDF? No. This is just the syllabus available freely on their website. I'm just going off of syllabus. Big Nick YG 123. What's up? I think you're new here, so hello. But yeah, we are going through the syllabus. That's what I've been doing since past couple of live streams. I go through a syllabus, make sure that you guys know what it is, how to search for it, and check more into it. So once we finish the syllabus, I'm going to jump into hack the boxes, complete a few of them, make sure that you guys are following what I'm doing, what we have done in the past. That way we both can learn more about cybersecurity. So that's the idea. So if you're new here, you're up to speed. If you don't know, now you know. Get in touch with MITRE framework. I think it's pretty much the gold standard for attack enumeration as well as persistence. You should know more about this. Let me just, I'm just gonna save this as well. OSINT framework. Thank you, Crazy Ass Coop, for your input on OSINT framework. I think it's pretty good. One more thing which I encourage people to know is how to use LinkedIn. If you are in the company, you pretty much know how to use LinkedIn, but some ways you can utilize it is to search for apple.com. Sorry, not apple.com. Oh yeah, whatever. Open the company page, find for people. We are just doing reconnaissance. We are just making sure that they leak out some information online, like their Apple IDs or their web internal Apple email addresses, so that we can do more attacks on it. But we are not going to do it because we are white hat hackers. We are not black hat. We're just learning more about it. So this person over here, let me see when to, just has her information over here. I'm looking for an actual blog post. Last time she did more activity was 2 weeks ago, so she liked it. This is 2 weeks ago, so not pretty active. Last one was 2 months ago. So you go back, I'm looking for a lower level employee, not a director. Austin, Texas. Cool thing which I found the other day, that if you go through any one of these resumes of these people who are working for that company, you can check to see what skills they know. That proves the fact that they are learning those skills on the company. That means that the company is using those skills for development. You can find vulnerabilities in those applications. For example, someone uses like Splunk. Pretty much every US company uses Splunk, every global company uses Splunk. But if he says that I use certain tool within Splunk, and you can find vulnerabilities for that tool, you know that Apple uses that tool somewhere in their CI/CD pipeline. You can exploit it. That's one way to do it, is to get information through their resume. This is why my resume is pretty absurd. I put my knowledge of pretty much things which I already know. I don't put knowledge of things which I learned on the job until I quit that job. That's something which I've been doing since a long time, but I got to know that this is something which you can do. Look for people's resume who worked at that company. Let's say someone worked at google.com. Someone worked at Google, not google.com, and they are checking to see if they can find a new job, and then you can just look through their resume, which they post pretty frequently, and check to see what technologies are they using. Because they actually say I worked at Google and I worked at Google Docs, and then these are the things which I learned more about it. More for their potential employers, but bad news for good news for hackers. That's what I'm trying to search for. But on an actual pen test, I would go through every single employee's LinkedIn profile. This is where they share everything. This is pretty much like kudos system for them. And check to see whoever is new to the company, who joined recently, and what their profile says, because they were in the job market and they were applying everywhere, so they know a little bit more about. They're pretty much vocal on their LinkedIn status. Anyways, something to get to know. Keep this in mind. Next, minimize that. Am I in my Kali machine? Yeah, I am. Okay, I saved all this. SSL server test. tool. I think this is from Qualys. Yeah. Hostname apple.com. Okay, the SSL server rating is A+ or whatever it is. Get to know a little bit more about what certificate they use. DNS CA, I don't know what that is. I'm gonna go ahead and copy that, search it. CA records. Certificate authority authorization record is used to specify which certificate authorities are allowed to use certificates from a domain. So pretty cool. Got to know, learn more about it. Close it, move on. Certificate path, Apple. Okay, so their certificate is on point. The SSL certificate is on point. If you search for, let's say, Yahoo, I'm pretty sure things should be search Dragos. Is that the website? Yeah, that's what the website is. They don't have a proper certification. Thank you, Johnny9876, for following. Good to meet you. Nothing. But I'll let this run. Let's see if something comes up. That's usually how you do the certificate SSL setup, search, find vulnerabilities if the SSH is not showing up as correct. A lot of people don't use old SSL certifications. If they have certificates set up for secure communications, they do it, but some people don't. Some companies don't. Most likely because they don't know how to use it. But SSL is important for your encrypting your traffic. If you don't know, now you know. We used it in our netcat sessions whenever we used NCAT for SSL encryption, and we tried to talk between our Raspberry Pi as well as our Kali machine, and we use Wireshark to monitor whatever these people were talking, these two devices were talking, and nothing came up. So it's all gibberish. It's very hard to decrypt SSL. But it looks like Dragos has A level for their SSL encryption, which is kind of cool. It's kind of normal these days. So pretty much you're looking for early startups who don't have proper SSL setup. And you can use these tools for fixing it. Pastebin. Search. Bug. Bounty. Scan. Pastebin is another place. So what Pastebin does is pretty funny. I don't know why they invented this tool, but it's been there since 2002. Pastebin is what GitHub is, but without any security or anything to prevent anyone from looking into it. So unless you make your paste private, everybody can look into what you actually pasted. Some developers, what they do is they paste actual information of their company on Pastebin, and I don't know why they do that. I don't know where they got their knowledge from, but they actually do it. And this is the most popular place for finding vulnerabilities these days for bug bounty hunters. I'm going to get out of this, check some actual pastes. So if I see over here, someone actually pasted a bash address list. Sometimes there is actual attacks, so don't actually go ahead and copy paste everything, any tool that you see. People actually use Pastebin for hacking as well, so they'll paste their actual tool or websites, and you're reading, oh yeah, this juicy material, and you click on it, and it literally takes you to, literally gives them the persistent shell on your machine. So pretty dangerous. Just don't click on things, just read it. That's, if you find it trustworthy, just go through it. So there is an address, and then there's a WhatsApp _ list, and a bunch of gibberish, just that. Oh, where'd it go? There we go. There's Twitter, Facebook, IP firewall address list. Very helpful, but If you don't know how to use it, just stay away from Pastebin. But if you know it, you can find information. It's much easier. Pastebin is like an actual tool which you can use. Let me see if there is any tool. Pastebin enumerator. Pastegenum. Okay. Okay, this is like installation on how to use this tool. Man, I'm looking for GitHub. Someone posting something on GitHub. This looks like, oh yeah, these are the auxiliary modules and modules of Metasploit. So for Skype, which is pretty cool. I like it. Anyways, that's Pastebin for you guys. Just do more research on it. These are all tools which you need to know, familiar with. If you really don't want to take care of these tools and learn more about it, you can actually use Google to search what tools are you utilizing these specific information gathering applications like Pastebin or Netcraft, Recon NG. They have their own specific tools. So just make a list of things which you do before you attack on a target. So this should be your primary list. You're looking for outside information, not inside. Once you find outside information like an IP address for internal network, you can use active DNS enumeration, port scanning, Smb enumeration, yada yada yada, for internal scannings and setup, checking to see if everything is working or if you can find anything inside the network. Email harvesting, the harvester is an actual tool. I hope no movies come up. Oh yeah, there we go. There's an actual movie, The Harvester. Pretty cool. The Harvester is preloaded into Kali. The last update was 14 hours ago. I'm pretty sure this is in, yeah, thousands, 5,000s stars. Harvester, what it does is it goes over every single website, every single search engine, and searches for their email addresses. It will give you email address of people. So if you don't want to go to LinkedIn, except I don't think so it does LinkedIn. If it does LinkedIn, it'll be amazing. I don't think so. No, it doesn't. So everything except LinkedIn. Oh, sure, it does that actually too. Sorry, my bad. They updated it. Pretty cool. It'll give you all the email addresses required. We can do a test for it. Okay. The harvester. -d www.apple.com DNS that's what I'm looking for. That's it. Nothing coming up. Syntax. If I don't know something, I just look for syntax, man. It's just too hard to go through the help setup. Okay, the usage example. So okay, limit 500. Okay, the harvester, I did that right. Oh, it's, sorry, it's not dub. Should show me if I do a limit of, let's say, 500, and then B stands for search. Oh, source. They could have just said S. Google. I don't think so. I have to write google.com. Just Google. Okay, pretty smart. Hopefully this searches whatever we needed, the email address is required, or anything else regarding it. Searching 100 results. Come on. Okay, found a few subdomains, apps, mercury.apple.com with an IP address, research.apple.com, vpn.apple.com, that's interesting, www.apple.com, yeah, x3esupport.apple.com. You can definitely go dig deep into it to see more about it, but more than likely Apple has a vulnerability disclosure program, VDP, and that pretty much means that every hacker who produces vulnerability, they fix it literally the same time. So they're pretty good, getting good at not displaying anything on the internet. You have to dig deep into finding more information on Apple, but Harvester does that for you, so pretty helpful. Password dumps, I'm pretty sure that can be done through GitHub as well as Pastebin. If you have any other locations to search for password dumps, let me know. But I use my own tool for password brute forcing. If I find a web page, I use the Mentalist word list. There we go, first result. One of the things I learned in college as well as in hacking is how to use Google search. Literally becoming a ninja in it. But anyways, this is the Mentalist. That is a pretty much tool to create word lists of every kind. So for example, is a graphical tool for custom word list generation. It utilizes common human paradigm for constructing word list passwords, which you can use for full word list, as well as rules compiled with Hashcat and John the Ripper. Those are two tools for cracking the hashes. And you need a word list. You cannot use outdated word list, and you definitely cannot use rocku.txt because that's a pretty huge word list and there's a lot of gibberish inside it as well. But this will help. Pretty famous, I think so. Yeah, it's 1,000. I think this was launched, last updated 4 years ago, but I still use it. It's pretty cool. I like it. Some pen test tools as well. Oh, 2017. All right, cool. But I think that person who wrote this tool, Scott Free, has a ton of other tools which I can utilize it as well. Updog is for replacement of Python simple HTTP server. This is for word list generator. NetByte is for NCAT style tools. I like. But with this, I think with Updog they use SSL encryption for making sure that things are working. And this was updated as of last year, so it's pretty up to date, it looks like. And it's a web interface, which I like. I like websites. Yeah, you can encrypt your SSL encryption. With Python simple HTTP, there is no SSL encryption, which is pretty dangerous because anyone with an access. And is he a little low on volume? Am I a little low on volume? Oh man, you are making me nervous. I made an entire stream and did not know. Let me check. Nah, dude, mine is full 100% on output volume. Okay. Yeah, try bumping up the volume or just use a different speaker. Probably things will get better. I am trying to get a boomstick connected to my table so that the mic can be like literally close to my face right here. I'm trying to find a good one which doesn't break, but a lot of people have been using this on Twitter and Twitter and Twitch for their streaming needs. I'm going to invest in it as well because I know that it's an actual cumbersome issue because my mic is right over here and my keyboard is right here. So I might touch it and then that might give you guys a feedback, which I don't want. So I'm gonna invest in that. Probably I'll order it on Amazon like a day or two. Anyways, social media tools, you already know about this. We talked about LinkedIn. That's the primary place where you can find information. Everybody likes to brag about it. Everybody uses their actual names, and their actual email addresses. Check their resumes to make sure that they're showing up tools which they used in that company, because they like to brag about their tools, man. They use certain technologies which they use in certain companies, and you can make sure that, oh yeah, SolarWinds use so and so technologies. Let me just go ahead and do an enumeration if I can find, or I can hack, or I can create a backdoor through that tech, which they did pretty much. I'm damn sure that they found it on LinkedIn and someone else's resume. But yeah, that's their Slack Overflow is another developers gathering place. This is where everybody posts their issues and their questions regarding software development. I'm pretty sure that they have everything else in regards to software development in it. Yeah, for developers, by developers, but you can search for how to set up net backdoor. Let me just search. Let's see what we can find. Yeah, I'm a human. Oh my god. You're telling me robots can go to Mars, but they cannot fix a CAPTCHA? I'm trying to set up a backdoor. It's definitely got bad rep because someone else is looking into it. They're good software developers too, but I don't understand Java backdoors. Anyways. But if you search for any tool online, you can get a Slack Overflow as well in URL. Backdoor and anything. I just searched for backdoor and something might come up. That's what I was looking for. Anything related to that. Like if I search "9 ways to backdoor Linux box." Yeah, that's what I was looking for. But on Slack Overflow, you can actually find it. Someone writing a code on particular tool, like particular programming language, like backdoor in Python. How do I do that? Or how to set up a particular tool. So that's what that is used for. Slack Overflow is useful. But I think you can Google that up. That's homework for you guys. I'm not gonna cover too much of Slack Overflow because whenever I don't know anything, there is someone on Slack Overflow writing that same question, and then you can search for it. It's like Quora. If you guys know what Quora is just a place where you can ask random questions and some professional will actually answer that. This is Quora for software developers. So I have a couple of different mediums. I have a bunch of them. Dude, make a repo, man. Make a repo of all these backdoors. It's very useful that you know this whenever you're doing a pen test on certain companies with their permission, obviously. Open source information gathering, I already did that. That's Google search for you folks. And what Crazy Ass Coop actually told is going to OSCP framework, clicking on anything. If you say I want to do public records, IP address, IPv4, hacker target, reverse DNS. Let's see if something comes up. Yeah, just bunch the IP address and it will tell you where it's connecting back to. That's what reverse DNS does. Maltego, I didn't use Maltego actually, but if you did, let me know. I think this is a graphical thing. Yeah, I didn't use it because this was paid. Oh yeah, cost a fortune, but the community edition is free. Not for resale. Why not? get desktop client. Don't need support, that's for sure. Okay, not too much losses. I think this is for people who are doing more in-depth pen testing. They probably need a professional edition, which is $1,000 a month, no, or a year, per year. So not that expensive, but it's expensive. Let's accept it. But I'm gonna start using Multigo to see if it actually helps in certain aspects. But I think it's pretty cool. I've never used it, but yeah, I'll give it a try. This is a cracked version of it. That's crazy, and I'm not surprised because it's a cracked version of Burp Suit 2. Um, I don't like to use that way because it's super bad for the company, but people use it. Hey, what you gotta do when the license is so expensive? People can't afford stuff like that, but they still want to be hackers. So, what I think is that if you can make money out of hacking, like bug bounty, not unethical hacking, um, you should invest in tools. You should give back to the company whose tools you're using. Say, so for example, you got like um, $10,000 in bug bounty. Go buy a professional license of Burp Suit. Just pay the company. Um, if you're using their commercial license and then you got a lot of money, just pay it up. I think that's what idea is. I think I do that way. If I get a lot of money in my bug bounty in a couple of months, I just pay for a new tool, which I use for getting more money. It's helpful. Also, I can use that in my actual pen test as well. Okay, let me just close this real quick. Module number 6 finished. Okay, I'm going to take a quick break for a second. Just going to grab a drink and then we'll touch base on active information gathering. This should be pretty quick. I think crazy ass scoop, if you can share that NSE Nmap script link, which you can auto generate Nmap link, that'll be great. Meanwhile, I take a quick break, be right back, a couple of minutes, and then we can jump into active information gathering, which should be pretty quick. There are some tools which I can show you folks, and with that, things will be much easier rather than you know working too much. You gotta work smart, not hard. Well, anyways, I'll see you guys in a minute. Just hang tight. Sorry, I was muted. Okay, so we should be back at our active information gathering. How to do it, certain things which you need to look into. First of all, let's jump into interacting with the DNS server and automatic lookups. What they're talking about is NS lookups. Let me just search. Okay, before that, let me just show how to interact with DNS servers. You can search up over here, interacting. It'll give you a bunch of syntax. I was looking for syntax. Sorry, wrong link. Okay, I don't think so it's showing up. But if you do, for example, let's say host www.apple.com, give you a bunch of information on the actual IP addresses and IPv6 addresses which are showing up over here. Apple.com, edgekey.net, just basic DNS work. That's what it is. If you do host -h for help, specify a query type. Let's try that. That should be fine. Let me check for MX records. MX records are type of records. I'll show you what it actually is. You use that while setting up your DNS. You can find that whenever you set up a Namecheap account and you register for a domain, you can look it up what the MX record is. If I do apple.com, tell me the MX record of that. Yeah, there we go. These are the MX records. These are used for mails. As you can see, M stands for mail, that's what I know. MX record use mail exchange. Sorry, I knew that it was mail related, but didn't know what it actually was. But okay, didn't know the full form. MX records for, let's say, apple.com. Tells me what email addresses are registered and who is registering it. That's the MX records. You can utilize it in your enumeration process whenever, if you find a tool to improvise more on the enumeration for MX records, you can just use this tool. Or you can do host, let's see, help. What else can we do? Query type. Query type, let's say I want to find a txt file on apple.com. Something's come up, but not too much. Verification, yada yada yada. Okay, I'll put this into the host searches. But if you wanted to do automatic enumeration, you can just automatic lookups. Let me see what else can be found on automatic lookups here. A lot of Splunk stuff. That means they're going to talk about just their application. Lookup tables. Oh, still Splunk. Dig. Domain Information Groper. Hate that name. Flexible tool for interrogating DNS name service. I think I checked this out some time ago. Let me search dig. how to use the dig command. Dig server, which is apple.com. What is name of the resource record that is to be looked up? Okay, and the type, the MX record, SOA record, things like that. Okay, let's say, let me just do it. Doing is better than reading it. IP. I look into dig as well. I'll put this onto my list of bookmarks. But yeah, looks like it's important. Dig actually does the same thing. Domain information groper. Very bad name, but kind of works. It's inbuilt to Linux, which is kind of cool. Forward and reversed lookups. So if I do, for example, let me see. I'm gonna search for an actual tool which does this for me. DNS lookup tool. Okay. Look up all DNS. This is what I was looking for. A DNS checker. Tells me everything about it. These two things, forward and reverse DNS lookups, can be easily utilized through these tools. A DNS lookup checker, DNS checker over here, and I can read up everything in regards to it. It's very helpful. Oh, it actually breaks it down. The actual thing which it found, as well as what you need to know. Anything in txt which we found using the host -t txt and the apple.com, that just came up over here. CA records, nothing more important. But yeah, looks like this is pretty cool. Let's just save that into our bookmarks and we can use it. There's a Firefox extension. That is amazing. I like it. Very helpful. Anyways, DNS zone transfer, dnsdumpster.com. I'm just gonna Google that. Hopefully I get the actual thing. Yeah, there we go. Hopefully it does the same thing, a little bit more. I like. Nice diagrams. NS lookups as well. I think this is a one-stop shop. DNS checker and DNS dumpster. Tells you everything related to it. Very useful. So we finished up these two. Oh man. Perfect. Module number 7 done. 7.1 done. Port scanning, UDP. So port scanning is something which you need to know beforehand. The first thing which you need to do after reconnaissance is done is that, okay, you find an IP address. Now you need to do a port scan of that IP address. The most easiest way to do it is Nmap, and then I'm going to do help. I used to use Nmap. It is the graphical user interface for Nmap. It's just this exact same thing developed by the same people, but it's graphical. makes it look better. Also, it's useful for it has color coding, so it's useful whenever you're doing reporting of certain things. You can actually take a screenshot of it. Not that you cannot on this one, but it's too black and white. Not that not that good looking. What was that thing which I think someone told me about Nse Scripts? If you guys can pull that up, if you're still over here, who told me about the Nse script? Wall scan. Oh yeah, that was it. I'll look into it. That's the next topic. But Nmap scans is something which you need to do. Standard thing for Nmap, if you're doing any hack the box machines, is type nmap.sc.sv and then the IP address 192.168.16.69. That's the IP for my Raspberry Pi over there. It's currently turned off, but that's usually what I use to. That's a script which I use. SC, if you want to check, will be over here. I think it's probe open ports to determine service version and C. I forgot what it was. This is so repetitive that I actually don't remember certain things. But yeah, SC equivalent to default scripts. Yeah. Version detection, which will tell you the operating system of what is running, as well as the 32 or 64-bit versions of it. So basically uname-a will tell you the same thing. If you type uname-a, tell you Kali Linux version number this, as well as what's the Debian version. So that's what it does basically. But it's very helpful whenever you're doing version detection for Windows and things like that, because some of them are running Windows Server. Anyways, that's what Nmap is for you folks. You can also mention TCP and UDP detection on Nmap or Zenmap. I recommend, if you're new to this, try using Zenmap. You can find it on their actual website, and to install that you need to use Alien. Zenmap cross-platform network scanner. So like you see over here, it's color coded, makes it look better, as well as you can differentiate certain things. All your hosts over here on the left side. This is pretty useful whenever you're doing actual pen test for companies and you want to actually create reports. Tells you a lot more about the host than what actual command lines and Nmap does. If it is Linux, it has a bunch of penguins. I'm pretty sure one of them is Recon. If you get that joke, just type it in the chat if you get the joke. But anyways, yeah, just try to use it if you want to compile RPM to DEB. Alien does that. I have showed you this before in my live stream, how to utilize Alien. Not this. Alright, Alien file converter. Sorry about my dogs. This will do the same thing. Alien to deb, pal to file, which is an RPM file. And if you do want to do vice versa. But whenever you download Zenmap, it's going to be RPM file, so you need to actually use this command, and then boom, you will have a deb version. Then just install dpkg and then the Debian file, and it will install it on your bin. Yeah, that's where it will install. Anyways, that's your Nmap for you. Mass scan is the similar thing to Nmap, but it's for a huge amount of ports to scan. Usually mass scan is utilized to scan pretty much the entire infrastructure of the company. A lot of IP ports. If you just have one or just a small subnet, you can utilize Nmap, but for anything bigger than that, you need to use mass scan or something bigger scanner, like Nessus or something like that. You can install this on Kali, as well as I think it comes pre-installed in Kali. I'm not sure. No, it doesn't, so I'll probably have to install it. So mass scan is there. You can also use Nessus. I'm gonna go ahead and show you what Nessus is before we jump into that. Nessus scans. I use this for my pen test. I use the free version at the moment because usually my companies which I am targeting have a smaller enterprise structure. But I usually, if I don't have it, I usually buy the professional version for unlimited IP scans. It helps for my work, but I usually use 1 year version. It's $3,000, but yeah, it's useful for my work. It gets me a lot of money because I need to run these scans and have much more. Um, what was I saying? I started looking at Nessus and I started forgotten. Anyways, I was saying something regarding to Nessus, but yeah, I use this for my work. It's helpful, but try to use only the free version because that's all basically what you'll be using if you're running it for your Hack the Box or Try Hack Me or even for OSCP. So, mass scanning companies. What's that? I don't know what that is. Anyways. Oh, like scanning for big companies before you go sidetracked. Um, yeah, so I think I was talking about companies which have bigger infrastructure. They use it's useful to use mass scans because cheat sheet because with that you can get much better perspective on what the company's footprint is and you can utilize it. So for example, that's for one IP address. You can use it for one IP address, that's fine, but Nmap does a better job at it. But you can use it for an entire big ass subnet over here, which is completely on a different subnet, two different subnets, as well as you can exclude a particular IP address um, if your for sorry the company gives you um, a scope and it tells you, hey, don't touch these IP address because these are developer IP address, we don't want you to do anything wrong with it. You can exclude that over here. Best to use this is through creating a file of all the IPs and then making sure that you exclude certain things um, which you don't need. So create a file for your scope which excludes a particular IP. Use this tag exclude file, which will do the same thing. Just exclude it. Exclude a single IP from the scan. Sure, very useful whenever you're doing bug bounties. A lot of bug bounty hunters use this tool for their work. So there's Nmap cheat sheet. I like it. Reconnaissance, fuzzing, word list, pretty cool. Anyways, mass scan is done. I don't know why it's not highlighting. Oh, ruins the whole thing. Anyways, Smb enumeration. I know that Smb works out of Windows by default. It's the most easiest way to get into a system. As we do certain hack the boxes I have in mind, which focus primarily on Smb, it's important to know that Smb is an actual tool which Windows uses for, I'll show you what Smb does, for communicating between two devices. So it's basically a server message block as a network protocol, enables users to communicate within remote computers and servers. So you remember whenever you use something like this // and the particular server name, and you do, and then you do printer like this. So if you're doing this, you're running Smb on your server. One way to poison this is through LLMNR poisoning. What LLMNR does, and I'm kind of doing a sidetrack on this because I want you to know this tool, link local multicast name resolution, is actual application which which utilizes certain aspects whenever two computers are connecting or talking to each other. Let's say whenever you are trying to print on a server on your company network, and you're trying to print something, and you print it through the network, because printers are current in the company. Printers are connected via their network IP. So whoever sends a print, it prints on behind you. You don't have to connect to it every single time. What LLMNR does, it actually finds you and saying that, oh yeah, I want to connect to printer who has this thing called printer XYZ on your company floor. And LLMNR will say that, oh yeah, I have this, it's over here, here, I'll give you a token, and you can print it. This happens whenever you're trying to connect to that printer. Similar things happens whenever you're trying to connect to a server, whenever you're trying to connect to a different rack. You get a token through LLMNR, but the one way to poison this is running a responder. Responder is a tool which is pretty much a man-in-the-middle attack. Yeah, LLMNR, what it does is it allows you to sit in between these two things, these two devices, pretty much every single device. You, LLMNR, and the responder are all sitting together, and whenever a request comes in, you pretend that you are giving away the token, which LLMNR does it for you, but you get their hashes of their username and password, because whenever you're trying to connect, if this is on a trusted network, the username and the passwords are already utilized, because pretty much every company loves to use single sign-on. So it goes through it, and you get the hash in responder. Black Hills Information Security has one of the best ways to learn more about LLMNR poisoning, and you should do it too, because this is something in the wild. This is predetermined in Windows. There's no way to escape this, no way to prevent this. Basically, just make sure your security is tightened. But if you have LLMNR, you can turn it off. One way to do it, but most people don't. Most companies don't. So it's an easy entryway to get inside, get user hashes. Pretty much every user, even the CEO, uses this if they don't have a plugged-in printer for their laptops, which they don't. Anyways, so that's something a little bit about Smb scans. You like the crazy ass scoop actually said, one scan actually does the scripts for you. I think this is it. I think I'm running the wrong one. Oh, it's for this one, right? Okay, yeah, the second one. So you have Nse Scripts for Nmap, and let me just check where I can find Nse Scripts. These are scripts which actually will find certain vulnerabilities or connect you to certain things. Let's say, for example, I'm running an HTTP server and I'm connecting to an HTTP port. I'm going to say Nse Scripts HTTP and then connect to port 80, only port 80 on this website. It's going to actually connect to that. And sometimes there is Microsoft, you know, like there are scripts which for Microsoft Eternal Blue Nse Script. Not a lot of scripts are there on vulnerabilities, but if you type smb-1-ms17010, which is Eternal Blue, Darknet Diaries has one of the most famous Eternal Blue webcasts. You should podcast. You should definitely look into it. But Eternal Blue was there. They created this vulnerability, and Nmap basically incorporated that in their scanners. So you can utilize this. It uses the SMB version 1 server for that Eternal Blue vulnerability. And if you don't know which Hack the Box machines are using this, you can use ipsec.rocks, cool dude on YouTube who creates Hack the Box videos, pretty much every Hack the Box video, and you can search for SMB and it will tell you all the boxes which has SMB issues. You can search for which one are the most easiest on their website, earning SMB clients to mount share, cracking this, running Nmap to see if SMB is open, start a full port scan and move on. That's on Nest. You can just search for these machines and then start hacking it if you just want to improve one part of your hacking knowledge. So if I want to improve my NFS enumeration, I'm just going to type NFS and see if something comes up, and it does. Sure enough, remote, the machine name called remote has a YouTube video too, and it will link you to the exact same place where he's actually doing it. That's how I learned a lot of techniques which Hack the Box has, a lot of services, and enumerating these services which Hack the Box has through ipsec.rocks. I just type in the service name over here. Let's say I'm going to do SMTP. Can't type today. SMTP. There are two machines which does this, and I want to learn more about it. So I'm going to hack those two machines, create an entire walkthrough of it, and then learn more about SMTP enumeration. So I'm going to leave that on this part because OneScan will actually do this for you. For example, you do nmap-s and sv and you do script. Instead of typing that script, which is smb-wal-ms17010, and you don't remember all these scripts because you don't have to remember it, you can just type OneScan. It will actually use OneScan's repositories of all the scripts which they have, and based on that script, it can actually detect what vulnerabilities will attach to these issues which you're having in this services. Which vulnerabilities to service attachment. That's basically what OneScan does. So you don't have to remember all these scripts. So I just saved you time. Thanks to Crazy Ass Scoop for recommending this. I'm gonna start using this whenever we start doing our Hack the Box machines. But yes, just look into this, try utilizing this. Pretty recent, a lot of people liked it, so pretty reliable, and you can avoid this all these scripts of utilizing stuff which you don't know, which you don't have to know. Try to utilize IPSec rocks as well for learning more about services. So you're done with that. SMTP enumeration, same thing, which we did with I like hacking articles. Telnet does that. Okay. Wait, is this what you were talking about? That Raj Chandel's blog? Who is the owner of Hacking Articles? I get a lot of his posts on LinkedIn whenever he posts a new blog post. So oh, there is a Metasploit module on that as well. No, I did not know that. There was an Eternal Red. That's pretty cool. So SMTP is Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, just an FYI if you don't know. That's just how mails talk to each other on Windows system. You can use certain tools to enumerate SMTP, and then you can read messages which are coming in and out. Like I showed you, if you wanted to test it out, you can read Flujab. Here it says that standing up to an SMTP server in Python to read mail. So that means that he's actually reading mail in the actual lab. So try to check those out. It's very helpful whenever you're doing enumeration. Just learn about one technique from the entire thing, and then try to do all the boxes which are associated with that. That way, whenever you see that technique again in your Nmap scans, you won't be surprised on how to attack it. You will be actually knowing that, oh yeah, this is an SMTP work. That's pretty easy. This is SMB work. That's pretty easy. I already did it 5 times because with 5 different machines. That's how I utilize IPSec Rocks website. I don't use it for searching for certain things. I just use it for searching for services and how to enumerate those. I'm going to wrap up on this because it's not that important. You can definitely Google this, MIB tree. Okay. MIB Smb tree. Ugh. Never tried it. Yeah, never tried it. So, anyways, let's jump into vulnerability scanning. I don't think so that is that important. You can Google it by yourself. Just try to Google keywords with SNMP network protocol and then SMTP mail transfer protocol, and you'll find something relatable to that, or any tool which does the job for you. The idea is basically to find tools and syntax, and then creating your entire syntax for yourself, so that whenever time comes, you are already prepared for it. Jumping into vulnerability scanning, there are two ways to which you can do it. How I did it was through Recon. Tiberius, pretty cool dude on Twitter. He wrote this tool. It's pretty up to date. A lot of people use this. This basically runs the reconnaissance for you. It does every single thing related to hack the boxes. Whenever there's an hack the box machine, run an auto recon. It will do all the recon for you. You don't have to do anything else. Just learn how to read certain things. Once the recon comes up, it actually saves up into all the different files, and then you can go ahead and go through every one of them to see what vulnerabilities you found, create your own documenting system for it. But auto recon does that for you. There's installation instructions everywhere on the GitHub, so you can go ahead and check that out. Once that is done, the manual way to do it is to go through Nmap, and then based on each and every single port which is open and what services they're running, you Google those services. Let's say, for example, there is Smb vulnerability. You want to know more about it. There is a particular branch of Smb, like particular version of Smb which you don't know. You just type Smb exploit, and once you type exploit, it will show you the exploit database somewhere over here. Rapid7 has it, so Eternal Blue will come up. They made a Metasploit module on Eternal Blue, so you don't have to use too much of brain power. But this, whenever you see Rapid7, there's a Metasploit module. So like over here, they'll tell you step by step what to type in, and it will actually give you, after exploit, the root shell if it is available. Legion framework. Isn't that I typed in? No, it's different. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Semi-automatic. Cool. Worth it. I think this does more than auto recon. It has vulners as well, and Darbuster, Smb, and these are already there. I think it uses some extra applications, but seems to me that it's pretty much the same as auto recon, just has a little bit more work to install. But yeah, worth the look. Legion framework. I'll try to test it out in my hack the box sessions to see if it works. Yeah, I mean, it's important to learn the tools first, but no matter what you learn, you need to know the basic fundamentals on certain enumeration techniques, which you will be learning beforehand. How I learned it is, first I learned the tools, I made my entire syntax for it, and then I actually looked for an actual script which I can run. Because essentially I am running against time. Whenever I'm doing a pen test, I am not running against knowledge. I have that knowledge, I have google.com, but after some time those tools become tools. So Nmap is going to be there forever. You can build on those tools, create your own ones, but it's helpful to have all of these under one tree, so you know that what tools are required. So for in case of auto recon, I know that it does a lot of Nmap scan as well as web scans, so I can use it as well. There is Legion, which I would need to look into further, does that as well. As so check into that. But first of all, you need to learn how to do it from the basics, which you should be doing on your time, to see how things work. Can you understand this? If there's an easier way, you need to look into that afterwards, not the first thing you need to first look at. First thing, don't look at auto recon if you don't know anything about Nmap, because it's going to be completely useless to even read the Nmap output if you don't know how Nmap works. So we already did this. Nessus, I showed you before on how Nessus works. It's just a massive scanner for vulnerabilities. Helpful whenever you're doing massive scale network scan, but Nessus does this for you. Everything is done for you. You just have to read the scripts, read the output, and then create your pen test work after that. A lot of people tell that pen test is more vulnerability scanning and then reporting on what vulnerabilities they found. But to me, pen test is more about going an extra step further than that, and then trying to make sure that you can exploit those vulnerabilities. Because if you tell a software engineer or a CISO that, oh yeah, there's a vulnerability on the network, and they're gonna be like, okay, yeah, that's fine. That's just a small mistake, we can fix it. But if you actually tell them the business impact related to that vulnerability, let's say for example, oh yeah, the customer privacy is going to be disclosed, their age and their birth dates are going to be disclosed. You tell them this, that age and birth date is going to be disclosed, they literally start an actual meeting immediately, and they just discuss what can be done against it, instead of you telling, oh yeah, sensitive information will be disclosed. Yeah, that doesn't help anything. Back that with proof of how you gonna disclose that. It's something what every company needs, and that's what I do it whenever I'm doing pen test. I just do a vulnerability scan. That's the first step I do, and then after that, on each vulnerability I find, I make sure to dig deep and try to actually gain some kind of shell or some kind of information which can be defaming the company, so I can report it to them, and then they can remediate it much better, because it's much better if I find it rather than some hacker finding it and then they exploit the entire company. So things like that are pretty important. This is a lot more about Nessus. I recommend using Nessus later on in your career whenever you're comfortable with all the other manual and slightly semi-automatic work. But Nessus is something which you need to run whenever you are doing massive pen tests like bug bounty hunting. They give you a domain, let's say they give you an entire subdomain of /24 or a little bit more than that, and you need to actually, not subdomain, it's subnet, and you need to find all the IPs related to that and what ports they're running. You run Nessus. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Vulnerability scanning through Nmap. Let me just search. I'm pretty sure it uses the vuln1 script to scan. Yeah, it's an Nse script. You can skip all that and use what vulnscan does, but it's important to know how to use vulnerability scanning. But this only works when you know what ports are open, as well as what services they're running. So for example, vulnscan, like they actually mentioned this, does the same job for you, tells you what vulnerabilities are there. Let me see, request memory corruption, DDoS, demand denial of service, DNS mask. Okay, nothing which can get you a remote shell. Nmap vulners is pretty much the same thing. A lot of Nse scripts. So yeah, people made this much easier for you guys. You don't need to remember Nse scripts. I think this all is just about NSE and how to exploit certain things in Nmap's Nse scripts. There is something called warners and as well as one scan. They do it for you. You don't have to do anything. Yeah, makes it easy. Next up, we're going to move on to web application attacks. I'm not going to cover too much of web apps because there is something which I want to point you guys at, is to go to Portswigger Academy. Along with your OSCP journey, I want you to go ahead and donate some time towards Portswigger Academy. This will actually teach you every single web application vulnerability there is to find in detail, what OSCP cannot teach you. So this is done based on that. It's completely free. You don't have to use the professional edition of Burp Suite, but the community edition does all the labs for you. You can use that, but it's very helpful. Go through each and every one of them, learn more about it, learn more about OWASP top 10 vulnerabilities. Should be written by OWASP. There we go. SQL injection is usually the top one. There we go. Injection flaws. You see injection flaws, SQL, no SQL, yada yada yada. You go over here. I want to learn more about SQL injection. 16 labs. Memorize how things work. Write it down, document it. Every single thing has their own lab. So you don't have to, once you learn the information or the scripts or the knowledge, you can actually click on the lab. If you don't understand how to do certain things, there is a solution as well. So this way you can build up your knowledge. I recommend doing this, Portswigger Academy, in order to master the entire web application attacks for your OSCP journey as well as bug bounty journey. Once that is done, go to Dam Web Vulnerable P. No, what was it? Yeah, web app. Yeah, there we go. DVWA. Yeah, always forget that. This is an actual website which you can host on Heroku. This will host that entire application on the cloud. It's free of cost. Heroku will be costing free if you're a student. If you're not, it's just free for small purpose use. You can host damn vulnerable web application on that platform and then start hacking into it. Utilize all the tools which you have learned on SQL injection and then open up just the SQL part of it and then start cracking every single part of that SQL vulnerabilities which come up. This is way to test what you learned in Portswigger Academy. Once you do all that, once you learn entire Portswigger Academy, you will have great knowledge on how to do bug bounty hunting, which is the pretty much hot topic going on everywhere in the nation. And second of all, nobody can touch you on web apps issues. So they should be able to just assume that you already know everything. If you already did all this stuff, documented it and made it public for people to know. So that's all about what I have for today. It seems like we have completed module number 9 as well. Just keep in mind, I didn't touch too much of it because I want you to first go ahead and learn more from Portswigger Academy. Darbuster, Burp Suite, Nikto, these are all part of Portswigger. Just check into it. Darbuster and Nikto are not part of it, but they utilize certain part of these tools to enumerate. Burp Suite will do most of the work for you, most of the legwork, but it's important to learn how to use Darbuster as well and Nikto. GoBuster is just a command line tool. It helps if you are good at command line, but most people, what I recommend is Darbuster. If it shows up here, I did this in my previous live stream, like last one. Just type in the website https or http apple.com and your port 8080 or just 80. Select the word list. You know where word lists are. Var share, user share, word list, Darbuster. Select the medium one, works. What file extension? I want to find txt. I want to find aspx, asp, yada yada yada. It'll come up once I hit start. But I don't want to do that. I want you to go ahead and learn by yourself. I've empowered you to do it on this direction. It's your job to go ahead and move forward in it and learn more about it. But I am pretty sure that if you learn Portuguese Academy, complete it like I've done it, completed everything, all the labs and all the tools required for it, you're gonna be master in web application attacks. So check into that, and with that, our session is over. We have completed almost half of, like literally the half of the syllabus in 5 days. In the next 5 to 7 days, I plan on completing the rest of it. We have completed until 12.8, so that just means Linux buffer overflow is done as well. I didn't cover a lot of Linux buffer overflow, but it's pretty much the same as Windows buffer overflow. So if you understood this should be a piece of cake. Rest of it needs to be done in the future session. So if you guys have any questions, I am willing to entertain those. If you guys have any queries, issues, the way I'm teaching, criticism, anything which is required, hey, I'm open ears. Just let me know. I'll put this on the side. Do this for 3 more minutes. If you guys are enjoying the chat, enjoying the live stream, just let me know as well if it's working for you. Okay. Thank you, Johnny. Means a lot. And if you want to get in touch with me, my LinkedIn is always available. Just send me a message on LinkedIn. It goes by Shubham Kichi. Tell me that what's your username on Twitch so that I can put names to faces. Let me know what your journey is. How can I be of assistance to you and improving your journey? Any advice which I can give, or something which I want to learn from you guys, definitely. Just let me know. I have an actual VM which I've created for Black Arch. This was a side project which I did after my OSCP because I wanted to build the entire VM by myself. I install all the tools which is required. I still use it for some work, but I default to Ubuntu for most of my work, or it just helps because for my work. Black Arch is most of the things required by command line, and at that time my command line knowledge was not that great. It was okay, but not that great. I'm gonna allow that. Kicked my ass all night on trying to load it. Yeah, dude. Yeah, go figures with that. Black Arch has a huge community for people, especially Arch Linux. They have people literally supporting this tool or the distro literally for years. So it's pretty good if you know what you're doing, but it's literally a nightmare if you don't know anything about it. I tried it in the beginning. I still have it. I still develop it a little bit whenever I want a new tool into it, or whenever I update all my distros at one time using cron jobs. So it helps, but apart from that, didn't try much. All right, that's 6:25. That's my time to go. I have 4 miles to run today. I did not do that before starting the stream because I was pretty lazy. So I have 4 miles to run, and I will catch up with you guys on Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. And as we go forward, I'm gonna go ahead and reduce the stream. Instead of this 2.5 hours, which I just did, I'm gonna put it to 1.5 hours. I'm gonna mark it on that. But I try to cover as much as I can, as less videos as possible, so that it's much helpful for people to look into things. They can only look into one video and then find all the information. But moving forward, once we move into actual box hacking, I'm gonna go ahead and limit my streams to just 1 hour, 1.5 hours, so it's much easier for people to watch. But thank you so much for joining in. I am really grateful that you are here, all 4 of you guys. Thank you so much. You donated your evening to me and learning this material, And to all the YouTubers who watch this stream on YouTube, thank you so much for doing that. I know like around 150 people watched all my streams, and it's very grateful to know that people are actually watching it. So thank you so much for doing that on YouTube, and I hope that your OSCP journey is going great, as well as any pen testing journey is going great. You learn something new every day and you improvise it in your life. So with that, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for attending. Hope to see you in the next one.